Sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, are we going to have a fun show today? Pete is out in Montana trying to sneak one more trip in there before it gets too cold to catch those trouts. But, man, do we have a good one for you today. It's Wayne Cotto and myself hanging out, talking fishing with you. We're going to be having a great time. Wayne fresh back from a trip to Japan. Lots of great fishing coming forward. And, man, do we have a great week of fishing to talk about here on Let's Talk Hookup. So much going on. Good fishing info. Tackle days coming up. The great local bite that's happening right now. Huge marlin, big swords, cobble. You got a great show coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Take a closer look at the Ford F-150. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The 2025 Ford F-150, whether it's gas, hybrid, or the all-electric Lightning, find the truck that will meet your needs. From California's best-selling truck brand, the 2025 Super Duty, the rugged Ford Ranger, and the versatile Ford Maverick. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer today to see the great selection across the full truck lineup.
If you're into saltwater fishing, Saturday, November 1st, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We don't hold back on this one. Spectacular savings on a huge assortment of saltwater tackle. Over 20 tackle manufacturers reps teaching and showing the latest product. Join our free casting contest and show your surface iron casting skill. Amazing seminars by some of top names in the business. A huge raffle benefiting Rollo's kids. It's our biggest sale of the year. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing. Unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, accessories, and more. Saturday, November 1st.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Quintin, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Yeah, you heard it right. Ricky and myself are in the studio, fresh back from Japan. Boy, was that a long 2 weeks, Ricky.
Cool, man. What a cool trip that was, huh?
It was phenomenal. It was a once in a lifetime, and possibly I'm going to repeat that a couple of times after that. It was just, it seemed longer than 2 weeks because we were everywhere.
You packed a lot in.
We packed it all in. We did everything from the sightseeing, the tours, the shrines, to museums, and then we ate everywhere. And anybody who follows me on Facebook knows it was the food tour galore. Everything that was on the list that you wanted to try in Japan, we tried.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal trip. I would do that again in a heartbeat.
And you said everything from street vendor to convenience store to 200-year-old restaurant and everything in between.
To vending machines.
Really?
That whole thing about there's a vending machine everywhere and
Okay.
you can buy almost anything in a vending machine. It was real.
No
You
kidding.
could buy ramen out of a vending machine. The funniest one was we were walking back to the hotel one night and we were going down this alley and all of a sudden this bright red glow came from a vending machine in the back of a parking lot.
Okay.
And we walked over and go, is that really a sriracha machine in Japan? Because they really don't do the hot sauce thing, right? So we walked over and we had to try it.
Oh, that's
so we
so funny.
bought the little thing and it says Sriracha Japan on it. And it was like out in the middle of nowhere down a dark alley. It was so weird.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what a fun trip. And you said you got to check out a lot of fishing tackle and even the fish markets. And
I got to go see the fish market, a couple of places up in out of Tokyo, and then down in Osaka went out and got to see the auction for the tuna
cool.
live.
Oh, how cool.
The fresh and the frozen.
Yeah.
And attached to the one had the produce market also. So got to see all of the fruits and vegetables also being sold and auctioned off.
What a cool deal.
It was very cool. And it was set up for the tourists up above on that second one. It had the decks on the second floor to go around. They really took care of you there. They had places to go eat for not only the people that work there, but for the tourists too. So you can go get fresh fish right there.
That's
came from the wholesaler right there.
And mostly big tuna. What was it?
A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. It was interesting. They had fresh tuna up to like 150 pounds, and then they had frozen tuna from 40 pounds to 300 pounds.
Wow.
And those frozen ones are flash frozen hard. And what we heard from one of the guys there was they can hold those frozen ones in their freezer up to 2 years.
Yeah, I found that so interesting. You were telling me that this morning, that like you in the best of ways, that you sometimes don't know how fresh the fish that you're eating is because they have the ability of keeping it at a high level for so long.
Yeah, on that type of fish. Everything else, if you go all the local fish, that's all fresh.
Okay,
is what we found, and then the shrimps and all that kind of stuff. It was all fresh, so that was very good.
But they could keep a tuna, you said, for 2 years
in the frozen ones,
deep state of frozen.
Right?
Wow,
rock hard.
What a trip that is.
It's so fun to watch them go and do the analysis. Every buyer going by the tail of the fish, poking a piece, checking out the fat content, tasting it, checking out, how the flavor profiles and everything. And then they're grading them as they're going down the line. And every buyer is doing the same thing to that back end of that fish. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So I have to ask you a question. I already got a text from Dallas already from the show this morning, and she wanted me to ask Wayne if he went into any 7-Elevens at 3 a.m. for
the 7-Eleven Family Mart Lawson's thing that you see on the internet is real.
It's a real thing.
It's real. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They get restocked on a regular basis. The whole egg salad sandwich between 7-Eleven, Lawson's, and Family Mart, the fried chicken, the fresh smoothies that you make. The frozen smoothie is in the cup. You put it in the machine and make a smoothie right there. The onigiri, which is the rice balls with all the different fillings. Ramen you can make, the bento boxes. They have everything. If you got stuck at the train station, missed the last train, and needed a shirt or a tie or socks or whatever, they have those for sale. It was a little bit of everything.
That's
and then you could also get all your snack food, all your junk food. You can buy alcohol 24 hours a day, all the different beers, all the sochu, all of they do these the whiskey highballs there, and they're in a can. I mean, just a little bit of everything. And trust me, we tried a little bit of everything. And you did it all. And then the desserts, when they talk about, there's this waffle ice cream sandwich. That's a waffle on the outside, chocolate on the inside, and vanilla ice cream, and it's crunchy. The waffle is crunchy, and the ice cream is so silky smooth. Now, I'm lactose intolerant. I couldn't do it, but my family did.
I love this.
It was really good, she said. And then they had like the flan custards, the puddings. They have all the different, the fresh mochi that gets pounded fresh there. So good. So tender.
Take you back.
Oh, in a heartbeat. I'm drooling.
What a fun trip, Wade. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, and 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's cool.
And we went everything from Tokyo, Osaka, Yokohama, Nagoya, Kyoto. We did the whole dress up in the kimonos and took pictures. And
that's awesome, buddy.
We toured and did everything. We did the Toyota Current and Future Innovation Museum. We went to the cup of noodle factory and had custom cup of noodles made. Just a little bit of everything. We went to all the different shrines and temples.
Great.
It was just a little bit of everything. And it's the whole Shibuya and Shinjuku crossing, that whole, Times Square kind of feel.
Okay.
It's real.
That's awesome.
1,000 people crossing at the same time, day or night. It's insanity.
Wow.
The train station where you're just a sardine walking down with everybody else. It's real. Where they talk about lining up. It's real.
Okay.
Going down an escalator in Tokyo, you go down the left side and they walk down the right side. You do not stand in the middle.
Okay.
You do not block. And then down in Osaka, it's the opposite.
Okay.
And that is real. And so they actually have lines and they tell you stay left, stay right. When you're going up and down those stairs, and there's stairs everywhere. They tell you, the section will say, have arrows going up or down. You do not go the opposite.
Cross.
And
Wow.
you just get in line and you go. And
it just
it's
works.
very organized. We did the bullet trains, the regular local train line. We did the subways, the buses, and you have to learn those maps, but you don't need a car.
That's
You
great,
absolutely
yeah.
don't need a
Just
car to
easy
get around Japan.
Cool.
It's so cool.
Well, that's awesome. Well, boy, that sounds like a fantastic trip, and can't wait to hear more about the tackle and all the fun you had over there. And speaking of fun over here, boy, what another great week of fishing where you just it has that feeling. At least in the tackle store, you can feel the pace of our fishermen starting to wane, and our fishing is on the ramp up. We had another just great week of fishing. I always joke that if the level of fishing that was happening right now was in May, that parking lot would be so full you couldn't put another car in it. But a really good week of bluefin tuna fishing. A lot of school grade fish up on the shallows on the banks, fishing on the anchor, both daytime and nighttime action. I know we had our Let's Talk Hookup 2-day trip on board the Liberty Go this week, and we're gonna have Dave Dolan call us later in the show and tell us all about that. But I mean, limits of fishing on that, and there's just been some big fish out to the west, and it's been a really, really good week of fishing. And man, if you're a guy like I know my co-host sitting across from me has got a multi-day trip coming up later this year, man, are you in for a good one, Wayne?
I cannot wait.
I know you're going on our Let's Talk Hookup Royal Polaris trip.
8-day in December.
And man, it is just that 7 to 10 day fishing right now is just spectacular. It's
I'm
so
knocking
cool
wood
to see.
right now, because right now it looks like our season is back 4 to 6 weeks in its weather pattern, which lines up perfect for that December trip.
It was just great. I know the searcher came back and from their last long one, I know every single passenger had at least one, most of them multiple wahoos. I know the angler was the same thing. The grade of tuna at the rocks. We got to talk to Captain Renee from the Shogun for a while when they were in between their last trips, and he was sending everybody up to the store to buy 60 and 80 and 100-pound fluorocarbon. He said they might as well have been at Clarion, anchor down at Alejos Rocks, fishing tuna in the daylight that were averaging 100 pounds. Some a little below, some a little above, but he said about all 100-pounders. Biting 80-pound on the fly line, and most of the day they had between 5 and 7 going at once. Like one very small tick under wide open, like exactly how you'd want it. You got a good bait and you cast it out, it got a bite every time.
Controlled chaos.
Oh,
I love
sounds so good right now. Tropics, good weather, just. He said kite was getting bit full speed, 2 full rotations in a day.
Man.
Not
only Clarion, but Hurricane. It's like that too. It's
sounds so
God.
good.
I gotta wait for 2 months, man. That's a long 2 months.
There's a lot of There's
I'm gonna be jonesing.
There's some really good fishing going on, and we're looking forward to talking about it today. It's just going to be a fun show. And we always enjoy these shows so much. It's just going to be Wayne and myself, and we're going to be talking fishing. And if you've got questions, man, we want to give you the answers. Obviously, we're so fortunate to have Wayne be part of our team, so well versed in all the things that's going on. Even in retirement, he's the busiest guy that I know, with your hat and all the different rings. So yeah, it's going to be a great show. Just talking fishing, hanging out, and talking with you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So we actually have a texter that came through this morning. It says, "Good morning, gentlemen. My question today is about dropper loop fishing. He's going on a yellowtail with yellowtail on the squid bed. I've been on a few trips to Clemente this year with big yellows, and it seems that they're eating the dropper loops on the squid at the gray light. The question is, what can I do to give myself any type of competitive advantage when playing with the dropper loop?" And that's Eric in Pomona.
I don't know. There's a randomness to bottom fishing that you have to overcome. I think that the competitive edge, the only thing that you can give yourself is to make sure you take advantage when your bite comes. In terms of dropper loop fishing, I mean, you want to do a few things to prepare yourself in terms of bigger yellowtail fishing. And one of those would be to get away from, make your rigging appropriate so when you do get your bite, you don't lose your opportunity. And the first thing I think of is you don't want to tie the rockfish style dropper loop if you're going to be catching a fish that's in excess of 25 and 30 pounds. You want to tie some sort of a dropper loop where the strength is in your knot is going towards your hook. It's a little bit of a difficult thing to describe over the radio show, but a traditional rockfish dropper loop, the barrel of that knot is where the strength is. And so on a rockfish dropper loop, your hook comes out of the middle of the knot. So when you're pulling pressure on it, it kind of folds the knot in half and weakens it. Or if you tie like a surgeon's or a rose knot or any of those types of things, you'll see like your hook is pointed out the bottom or in the same direction that the barrel is pointing. So tie yourself a dropper loop that's at least appropriate for that. And then, if you're fishing squid, fishing mackerel, fishing sardine, appropriate hook size. If you are fishing squid, enough sinker to hold that thing and anchor them to the bottom, that can be a problem. Even if sometimes you're not in that deep of water, where you would think, 4 or 6 ounces should be fine. If you're fishing a big bait, you need to remember that you need to keep that bait anchored, which isn't always a good thing. So a heavy enough sinker to keep yourself there. And then just be ready to yank and crank when you do get your opportunity. In terms of getting a bite, I don't know that I have the secret magic thing to, make yourself look better than the dropper loop next to you. But I just think be very prepared for it so that when it does come, you take advantage to everyone you get. What do you think, Wayne?
I think the Tackle Days is coming up, and there are going to be a lot of seminars, and that'd be a good one to come and listen and talk to.
Yeah. Right off the bat, Frank Lopresti will be doing a seminar on Tackle Days at 9:00. And I don't know that there's many men alive that have seen more yellowtail bites happen than that. So that'll certainly be a good one. And Captain Matt Bralla from the San Diego will be doing a seminar with us on Saturday. And, you can pick his brain. That it'll be unfair. He'll be there with the whole team from Two Fish Jigs. But the opportunity to talk to the guys is certainly there, and all the folks that are be around and the boats. It's a great call.
Yeah, and Eric, you're out of Pomona, so if you want, we had Brian Wynn on the show, and Brian's doing a bunch of seminars, and there may be one up by you coming up, and he goes small one-on-one type seminars. He's doing those ones online now, so you might be able to connect with one of those and get a little bit more help with what you're looking for.
That's a great call.
Yeah.
Well, as you can hear, we've got a great show coming for you today. And man, we would just love to have you participate. If you want to join us this morning here on Let's Talk Hookup, we'd love to hear from you. We got Kyle standing by at the fan this morning. And if you want to give us a call, it's 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973. Kyle is standing by at the fan. And if somebody wants to send us a text, we already have text messages pouring through. If you want to join us on the text this morning, the only way that you can do that is through the Let's Talk Hookup app. We say it all the time. It's a free download. Very easy to reach us here on Let's Talk Hookup through the Let's Talk Hookup app. And when you include your question, or when you send us your text question, make sure you include your contact info, because man, Wayne, what a special prize we are getting to give away today. We kind of teased it last week, but we have something very special for one lucky caller or texter at the end of today's show.
That CalStar rod right there. I was on the plane listening to the archives, and I heard it and I went, I need that rod. I need that rod so bad. It is a CalStar GG 278C.
Yep. So this, we've been talking quite a bit about how fun it has been since, Chris has kind of taken the reins over at CalStar and really allowed John to just get to make cool rods and then produce cool things. And this is just yet another one of those things that we've been talking about, something they've been working on. And it was something that, we all heard kind of happen here on Let's Talk Hookup. And during that stretch of time when anchovy was our prevalent bait, and we had a few weeks of it was just anchovy, and boy, you would think listening to the show or listening, to the scammering around the docks people, you'd think that we were never going to see another sardine again for the rest of our lives. But we definitely had a window of time when small bait and anchovy was the bait of choice, and heard Mark Wish during his report talk about how nice it would be to have a new version of a 270. Now, this GG line is not something new to CalStar. It's a proven, excellent series of rods. When John and Chris were on last time, they were talking about the GG rods are a graphite and fiberglass composite rods, much like the Graphiters are a graphite and fiberglass composite rod. The big difference is these GG series have a higher percentage of fiberglass than they do graphite. So you get that very soft, very comfortable, kind of more spongy feeling that a fiberglass rod gives you, but you still have the lightweight nature, the better lifting power, those killer Fuji guides. Like you've got a lot of the benefit. It's just a very cool blend of the two, different from a graphiter, often a little bit slower. And one of the most popular rods in that lineup that has been around since the beginning of the GG series is the 278-foot heavy. It is like a fantastic all-around live bait, school-size fish rod. Great. I love it. 278-foot heavy, one of my favorites ever. Mark was asking for a regular 270 non-heavy, something that was not available in that lineup. And the reason is because this regular 270 has such a soft tip section. It is a fantastic rod for casting a light, smaller bait. The rod loads very well with very little weight behind it. You don't need to have something big and heavy to bend this thing when you're making your back cast to allow the rod to load, but there's still enough guts in there to deal with big fish, whether it's big coastal fish or you're trying to catch a tuna on a smaller bait. It's just perfect. And so we remember Mark, kind of talking about that, and Chris and John do what they did, and they came down to Fisherman's, and I'm sure a bunch of other great tackle stores as well, with several prototypes, thinking, okay, this is what we're after. We need a rod that's lighter and it's a little slower and it's a little spongier, but it's got to handle big fish. What do you guys think about all these different blanks? And all of them had very similar characteristics, but were all uniquely different a little bit. And CalStar did what they did, and they kind of whittled away all the different interpretations until they felt they had the perfect one, which became the GG 270 8-foot C. And it is just, they nailed it. I mean, they just nailed it. Such a great rod. And the thing that I really like about this one too is most everything that comes in a factory version on an 8-foot rod has a deckhand style grip, cork tape or smooth shrink or whatever it is. This rod has the traditional hypalon in a reel seat. And I thought that was so smart, because in this new world of anchovy is going to be a thing for us at some point. It clearly isn't now. Sardine is back. Everingham Brothers killing it, as they always are. But anchovy at some point is going to be the predominant bait again. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see which reel comes out on top, because it's not like the old days where you had a Squidder Jr. or a Newell, and that was kind of it, a Daiwa SL or whatever it would be.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of great options. You might go Trinidad 14, you might go Tranks 400, you might fish a Twin Power. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things. Not necessarily everything that is made to fish, with a clamp and a deckhand style rod. I mean, a GG 270 with a Tranks 400 all day long, that's going to be cool. So I just think they did an awesome job. This brand new rod is just now available, and one lucky caller or texter is going to win a brand new CalStar GG2. You basically can't buy it. It is that brand new. The first one I ever got to lay my eyes on. We don't even have one on the rack at the tackle store yet. The first one I ever got to see is one that's going to be in some listener's arsenal after today, and you'll get to pick up that rod at Fisherman's Landing Tackle. So again, an awesome opportunity at one of the greatest rods from one of the best manufacturers. CalStar GG 270 8-foot regular to one lucky caller or texter. Again, if you want to get through, it's 833-288-0973, or send us a text. You can text the show at the Let's Talk Hookup app. Make sure, I'm going to say it again, put that name and phone number down, because if you win that big prize, we want to make sure to get it to you.
I'm so jealous right now. This rod, I'm looking at it right here, and it's just beautiful, and it's going to be the perfect SoCal inshore, offshore, local bank rod. It's, what is it, like a 30-pound, 25, 30-pound rod?
I would call a GG 270 more of like a true 20-pound
20-pound, yeah.
Like I like the 278-foot heavy is like a 25 to 30. The rating on this rod is 12 to 30, and I think they nailed that perfectly. Like to me, that is the perfect 20-pound outfit. Man. This thing, Trinidad 14, all day long.
Tranks 400. Hey, well, when we come back, we're going to be taking your calls and your texts, and we'll be talking more fishing. When we come back, we're listen live on Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
The fish are biting and it's time to go. Hi, this is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or maybe in front of the shop on my kayak. It doesn't matter if you are out there on a kayak with me, on your boat, headed out on a sport boat. Dana Landing has everything you need. We call it the one-stop shop for a great day on the water because it truly is. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop, headed by John, is certainly one of the best. For freshwater tackle, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. These guys have the best rods and reels and the hottest lures and live bait. Our newest shop is Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with a great stock of both fresh and saltwater tackle right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
Anyone that's been to the Eastcape knows Smokey's Curing Company Cantina, the best food and drink in Los Barriles, and a fun place to hang out and watch your favorite sporting event. If you're lucky, you probably had Smokey's process your fish to take home. Their quality and service is top-notch. You'll see me at Smokey's Cantina hanging out with the owner Chris and my buddies when fishing in the Eastcape. And we always send our fish to be processed at Smokey's too. Now Chris has added one of the finest boats in the Eastcape available for you to charter for a day or more of fishing. Vaquera. It's an immaculate 35 Cabo with a seakeeper and Captain Diego Romero, one of Baja's best. If you're looking for a great charter boat when fishing at Palmas, Playa, or other resorts, Vaquera, booked at BajaSmokies.com, should be your choice. So when you're headed to the Eastcape, be sure to stop by Smokey's Curing Company Cantina. Send your fish to be processed there and fish aboard the 35 Cabo Vaquera. Check BajaSmokies.com for more details.
Saturday, November 1st, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We don't hold back on this one. Spectacular savings on a huge assortment of saltwater tackle. Over 20 tackle manufacturers reps. Join our free casting contest, amazing seminars, a huge raffle benefiting Rollo's kids. Saturday, November 1st.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
I've had the opportunity to fish many places in many different types of water, but never have I fished a place as much fun as Katmai Lodge in Alaska. Hello, my name is Harold Davis, typically fishing in the ocean, but this is an experience that you have to try for yourself. Fish natural rivers with tens of thousands of fish coming up. And they have all the gear: spinning, bait casting, fly rods, kings, silvers, pinks, sockeyes, and my favorite, the chums. Outstanding food, outstanding accommodations, great service. The lodge is located in the beautiful Katmai National Park, filled with amazing wildlife. Brown bears, moose, eagles, otters, and it has spectacular scenery. And also the fact that the lodge is located right on the Alagnac River and your boat is just steps away from your room makes it great. Do yourself a favor. Call Charmel at 1-800-330-0326 or go online, katmai.com. And like Pete says, they will hook you up.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, we're in the studio, just Rick and myself, talking fishing. We're going to be talking, getting your catch reports. We'll be taking callers and texts, and we'll be giving away that CalStar GG278C at the end of the show. And I'm just salivating again on that rod.
I want that thing, man. That's pretty nice. Well, hey, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Pete just keeping those trout honest in Montana and trying to sneak one more in there before it freezes them out. But we got him on the line. We got Pete this morning. Morning, Pete.
Hey, good morning, Wayne, Rick. Hey, show's sounding great here from Helena, Montana, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. Appreciate you covering for us and sounding good, and really no reason for me to come home. So,
Snow will drive you home.
Yeah, there might be one reason for you to come home. It's going to be 75 degrees and sunny here today.
Yeah, that's a good point. And of course, Tackle Day is next Saturday, so we got to be there for sure.
That's
so,
right.
I'll be back Wednesday, but it's been a really great time here. I've been here since Tuesday, and I got to fish with Greg Stotesbury, who now lives here in Helena, on Wednesday on his Z-Skiff. And Z-Skiff is like an 18-foot boat that his his son Zane put together with a friend, and so he names it the Z Skip, and so it's got a lot of memories and a lot of really cool stuff to fish in. But we fished Upper Hauser Lake on Tuesday because Greg had been there the day before and absolutely slayed them, and just had a phenomenal day. I mean, it was just fish after fish, indicating with small nymphs in the river in pretty shallow water. We were indicating about it was about 6-7 feet of water, but the big fish were just in there.
Oh,
and I actually ended up catching probably my personal best up here in Montana. Landed. I've hooked bigger fish, but I actually landed this one. It was probably close to 6.5, 7 pounds, big fat rainbow.
Wow.
And just a really amazing, just fat thing. But I don't think we had a fish under 20 inches. It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. And like I said, we had, in just a few hours of fishing, 30 plus 35 fish, I think, something like that. And it was a little chilly in the morning. Greg said, let's get started at 8. Of course, the sun doesn't come up here till 8, right, this time of the year. Of course, that'll all change next Sunday by an hour, but it comes up at 8. And, of course, it was about, when I met Greg at his house, it was 28 degrees. So a little chilly, but actually the day warmed up as it went on, and, was a high that day of 64. And like today, it's going to be about 62, 63 here. So it's cool in the mornings, but warms up nice. But that's kind of all going to change on Monday. It's going to be highs in the 40s and stuff like that. But this time of the year, not a lot of precipitation, although they've already had a foot of snow here in Helena. But the weather, it's kind of like Alaska. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute, because it changes.
Well, I was going to say, you're going to get lucky coming home when you are, because I think there's a couple of storms in the Pacific Northwest that are heading your way. Off the coast there.
Come home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But Helena's pretty dry, though. I mean, a lot of the storms get sucked up on the Pacific, and so a lot of those get burned out by the time they get here. So, but it's still cold. It can be cold, but this is a great time of the year to fish, because the fish start to sense the cold,
right?
And they get hungry,
they know what's coming,
right? And they know. And then so Thursday, Greg and I took my Adipose drift boat, and we drifted the Missouri River down from the dam right below up Lower Hauser to Craig, Montana, which Craig is, if you've ever seen Craig is like the center of Montana fly fishing on the Missouri River. It's amazing. You see hundreds of drift boats parked outside or even on the river and stuff. A very, very busy place. But that and the Madison rivers are probably the two most popular rivers in this part of Montana. But so we drifted the Missouri, and it was the best day I've ever had on the Missouri.
Oh, cool, Pete.
The fish were biting. I mean, not a lot of big fish. We had a lot of fish that were, 15 to 18 inches, something like that. Mostly rainbows, a few browns, but there's a lot of big fish in the Missouri too. But we just didn't. But the good news was biting, because it can be a very fickle river and very, very challenging to fish. And I'm still learning it. Greg's still learning it too. Drifting the river is a totally different animal than doing the indicating on the still water on the lake.
What's the bait of choice when you're drifting?
Well, we were fishing when we were drifting the river. We were fishing a 2-fish rig. We were fishing a San Juan worm, and then lower, and then like a little scud or scud pattern, like a number 18 size scud. And most of the fish were on the smaller scud on the bottom. So, but it's fishing 8 and 6 pound tippet, and just fishing a floating line and an indicator, and also stripping too. We were stripping some leeches and getting some bites on leeches too. But it's kind of a whole new animal up here, and it's a new challenge for me, and that's kind of what I'm really into, to learn all these different fisheries up here, because it's not easy. I mean, especially the Missouri River that gets so heavily pressured. It's a very, very challenging fishery, and I'm just totally up for learning it. And just the only way to learn it, as we all know, is time on the water, right?
Gotta do it.
Absolutely.
Time on the water. So yeah, but it's definitely kind of bundle up time here. You gotta watch the wind. The wind blows a lot here this time of the year, and you gotta watch the weather and pick your days and get out there. So but yeah, overall, I'm hoping to get one more day in on Tuesday. Got a lot of shutdown here at our condo here to do to winterize it and get it ready, because probably won't be back till April here because we're going to get cold. But But Lolly and I have been enjoying a beautiful, beautiful place that Montana is, and just looking forward to hopefully get one more day in fishing on too. However, the high on Tuesday is supposed to be 43, so might be a little chilly.
Has that weather app been accurate for you?
I'd say that's a lot chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta. I'm learning that too. Being a Southern California boy, you got to learn a lot of different stuff up here. But anyway, that's the trout report. It's
awesome,
a great
bud.
time of the year to be here. It's just because the fish really go on the chew, and this time of the year, as well as like the early spring, April, May, early June, really, really good time to be fishing in Montana. So anyway. That's the report from here. We'll get you guys back to, I understand fishing's fantastic down there, and looking forward to getting back there. And of course, looking forward to seeing everybody at Tackle Day on next Saturday. But keep up the great work, Wayne. Glad you had such a great trip to Japan. Love that place. Can't wait to go back there too. And so many good places, so little time, right?
Absolutely.
Well said. Well, great job, Pete. Glad you're having such good fishing. Congratulations on the PB up in Montana. I was so stoked when I saw that fish. Pete sent me a picture of it, and it's just a gorgeous looking fish, but like you said, how fat it is. That he's got his hand underneath it, and like the fish is just spilling out on both sides. Just an awesome looking fish, and what a cool fishery. And we're glad you're getting to experience it, buddy. Things are great down here, and we'll look forward to seeing you when you get back into town next week.
Sounds great. Hey, thanks for covering, guys. Have a great show.
Okay.
Pete, appreciate
Say hi to
that
Greg
very
for
much.
us.
Yeah, no doubt, man. What a fun deal that is. Well, as you can hear, lots going on, so much to talk about, fun fishing. And Wayne, why don't we jump into those phones?
Yeah, let's talk to John from Escondido. John.
What's up, John?
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, gentlemen. So I'm calling to give you a fish report
All right.
from Long Island, New York.
Okay.
On my buddy's boat, a 25-foot osprey. We're out here trolling for stripers. It's just having a great time, great show. Woke up this morning. Cindy had you guys on from last week on YouTube to show my buddy, about your show. But out here with a bunch of boats, just enjoying the day.
I love it, John. Well, that might be the longest range report we'll have for the day. That's pretty exciting. How's the striper fishing going?
A lot of boats out. We just kind of got our lines in the water. We're trolling spreader bars with worms on them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of something that looks like an eel.
Yeah, like that. It's definitely different fishing, and the tackle stores out here are different than ours. But it's very neat, and everybody's got a boat.
That's exciting. What's the weather like where you guys are at right now?
Beautiful sunny skies. Just a little bit of a swell. Just really nice. It's a great day. It's been very windy when we got here on Monday, but today is just an awesome day. To get out, and we come home on Monday.
How exciting! Well, that's awesome. Thanks for the report all the way to the other coast. And what's the grade of fish like that you're expecting to hopefully knock out today? What size are the stripers back there?
Hopefully maybe get something in that 8 to 10 range.
Cool. How fun, John. Well, have a great trip. That was fun all the way on the other side, man. That's pretty exciting.
Learn how to catch them, so when you get back here, you can do it here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, John. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the phone call. Appreciate that very much. Well, we had a fun text come through as well. It says, "Good morning, guys. Rick and Wayne. I saw an article recently in Western Outdoor News that talked a little bit about the expanding MPAs along the coast from Swamis to Point Loma. My question is this a new expansion? Is this part of 3030? Is this something completely different? I figured if anybody could keep us in the loop, it'd be Wayne." And that's from Roy in San Diego.
Yeah, Roy. So what's going on with that is we had a petition process a couple years ago. We went through the first round, knocked those out. We're in the position 2 bin, and they're breaking those into sub bins. All petitions came from the user community. This isn't CDFW wanting to do it. It's not the Fish and Game Commission doing it. It is them taking the suggestions from the public or from user groups and analyzing it to see whether or not it's worth it. Now, the one caveat they gave us from the beginning was there would be no wholesale expansion of MPAs, and we're trying to hold them to that. If there were going to be minor boundary changes to line up to make it easier for law enforcement, to give you a better line of sight, and those kind of things, those were acceptable, but no wholesale changes. So all of these petitions for Point Loma or going up the coast to Laguna Beach, they should have been rejected, and that's what we're hoping, that they don't change the procedure, policy, and rules of engagement that they gave us from the beginning. So groups like CCA and SAC are so important to keep the fight up to keep the pressure on them and hold them accountable to not do those wholesale changes. And that's what's going on. It'll continue through next year.
There it is. Hey, appreciate that very much, Roy. And like I said, Wayne, it's something that is on the horizon that continues to fight, and that's why we're so lucky to have the CCAs and the SACs and everybody that has our back out there. And it's not just going to go away. We can't ignore it and think that it won't be a thing. No matter how ridiculous it may seem in your mind, it's not going to go away.
You have to be careful because they'll pick away at us slowly. They're doing it on the wildlife side even more than on the marine side, where they're taking an individual plant, an individual amphibian, reptile, bug, this or that, and they're making them endangered. And you don't know they're doing it, but they're very good at what they do, creating these petitions and getting them filled out and getting them authorized.
Right.
So like you can't go and just dig up any plant anymore or go out someplace. You don't know you're trampling on something or taking something,
right?
But the incidental side of it is if you get caught, you're going to get, fined. So what we're trying to do on the marine side is stay very vigilant on it so that they don't do that to us, right? They came after us on grunion at one point, California halibut. They tried to do they're doing the striper, which we just got a favorable thing. They were trying to do a slot limit on it, and we got that pushed down. They're not going to do it. So there's no upper size limit. But I mean, all around, and we just have to keep fighting. They just combined sunset and vermilion into one bucket because there was people misidentifying fish. But then we also got Quillback opened back up and the depth restriction in Central and Northern California. So that was a win for us that they said the science wasn't right. And we got our favorable, ruling on that at the Pacific
awesome.
Fisheries Management Council. And then Fish and Game did the same thing on the state side.
Excellent. Hey, well, Roy, again, appreciate the text very much. We're going to find out what's biting out there. It is time for the Catch Report today, sponsored by Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It is the place to fill up your car, your truck, or your boat with the lowest in gas and diesel prices. And did you know Summit's also the spot where you can get killer snacks and frozen bait, as well as fresh-made sandwiches, fresh-made salads. They have over 40 snacks for just 89 cents. Ice at nearly half the price of the others. It's only $3.99 for a 25-pound bag. You can get 100 pounds of ice for free with a 35-gallon fill at Summit Gasoline. Ice for all of our Let's Talk Hookup listeners, and always the lowest prices at the San Diego Sports Arena. We got the man, Marcos from C4 Sport Fishing is on the line. Good morning, Marcos.
Morning, Marcos.
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today?
Excellent.
Great, buddy.
Well, fishing kind of rolling on here. It's kind of continuation of what we've had for the last 5-6 months here. Good fishing all around. Those half days. Fortunately, we didn't see any more bluefin on those half days, but there's still some pretty good fishing in there on the rockfish. When they're fishing shallow, still seeing calico bass, some other limited bottom fish on there. Like we know, the change a bit here where you can't catch a lot of that fish inshore there, but definitely still some options there. San Diego, Sea Watch, other full day trips still going out there, still catching bluefin and yellowfin, actually some yellowtail in the mix there, and a little hit or miss on those full days, which again, it's bluefin fishing on the full days, and I know we've gotten kind of spoiled on that, but lots of fish out there. Some days really great, little days a little tougher there. Those day and a half, though, very good fishing here with the bluefin, yellowfin, and yellowtail. Just great fishing overall there, and we're rolling up on November here. The fishing's still going, so check the website, seaforthlanding.com. Got that full schedule up there for those half days, the full days, the 1 days, day and a half, and longers there, some longer trips sneaking in. You can make your reservations online. Give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Come down, visit us in person. Love to talk to you guys, get you out on the boat there. And one other thing coming up here, we've got, whale watching trips. Some of you guys might just can't stay away from the water. You have some people in town that want to get out on the water.
Totally.
Some great whale watching right now. They're seeing some humpbacks. And actually next weekend, they're running a new trip. They're doing I believe it's an 8 to 5 offshore trip going around looking. They're a little longer whale watching trip. So lots of options. Again, all on the website there, and I'd love to get you guys out on the water.
It's the time to do it, and boy, you said it all. You said it already. I'm going to say it again. This is the time of year that reservations are king. Gotta have enough. Gotta know the boat's going. A couple reservations sees a couple more guys going, and that's what makes it happen. And there's way too good of fishing to hang it up yet. It's still time. Marcos, a great report as always, buddy. Appreciate it very much, and we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you then, guys.
All right.
All right. Hey, and that Catch Report is sponsored by the Fish Bros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego, where you get the premier processing experience. Check out the easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. With more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. more same-day capacity, and the finest customer service, stop by their location at Old Town on Taylor Street or check fishermansprocessing.com and make your reservations today. Hey, and when we come back, we're going to take more callers and texters and talk more fishing. And one lucky caller or texter is going to get that brand new CalStar at the end of the show. Make sure the texters put your name and phone number in there. And when we come back, we'll be on 97.3 The Fan, Let's Talk Hookup app, and YouTube and Facebook Live.
Saturday, November 1st is Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Seminars by saltwater experts, huge raffle to benefit Rollo's kids, great deals on tackle, and top tackle manufacturers like AFTCO. Save huge on AFTCO cyclofluorocarbon, clothing, gaffs, tackle bags, fillet knives, belts, harnesses, and more. It's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Saturday, November 1st.
When you're pursuing big game fish, the right gear is essential. Not just the rod, reel, and line, but the right pair of binoculars too. So upgrade your gear to the best pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right there at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? Fujinon Stabiscopes are the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon TechnoStabi TSX 1440s deliver rock-steady vision, even in rough waters, perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which ones are right for you. They even have compact and lightweight Fujinon stabilized binoculars for your next vacation or hunting trip. You know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars, so get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
Seasoned long-range fishermen know that the Red Rooster 3 is the finest fishing vessels in terms of technology, design, speed, comfort, and safety. This 105-foot sport fishing yacht meets every demand for comfort while delivering an unforgettable fishing vacation. Captain Andy Cates and crew are experienced, friendly, and sincere in their desire to help you have the trip of a lifetime. Book a trip on the Red Rooster 3 and you'll be back. Trips go fast. So check redrooster3.com or call Lee Palm Sport Fisheries at 619-224-3857.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from a day and a half to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
Lobster season is here, and success starts with the right gear. And no one does it better than Promar. Based in SoCal, Promar's Ambush Series hoop nets and accessories are trusted by the most dedicated lobster fishermen on the coast. If you're a serious lobster fisherman or a beginner, Promar makes the gear and shares the information you need to be successful on the water. Promar, the name behind more lobster limits than any other. Visit PromarIE.com to gear up today.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Hey, we're having a good time here talking fishing, taking callers, texters, some catching the catch report from Marcos. What do you think? We're going to get back onto the phones? Rick?
Yeah, it's very busy. I know we got Dave Dolan standing by. He's going to tell us about that Great Liberty trip. But while we're still on the fan, we have the option. Let's grab another phone call.
Let's do John in Huntington Beach. John in Huntington Beach.
What's up, John? Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, guys. I've got a couple questions for Rick. What's the best outfit for like a smaller child, a 3 to 5 year old, to use out in like in the bays for saltwater fishing? And then for Wayne, what was your favorite meal in Japan? And did you climb Mount Fuji when you were out there?
Well, right off the bat, I did not climb Mount Fuji. We had a little bit of weather that came through, and Fuji was under clouds most of the time while we were there. And right when we left, the day after we left this week, they got snow on Fuji. So we kind of missed that one. My favorite food, boy, that's a hard one because we ate everything there. But the Kobe and Wagyu beef is phenomenal, just phenomenal. Melt in your mouth. They have this one dish where they make it into a cutlet. They slice it up, and then you have these little sterno with a tile on top, and you get to sear it at the table by yourself. And everybody gets their own cutlets, and that was the best. Absolutely the best.
That's so cool.
It just you drool over that one. It was so good. You wanted to go back every day and just eat that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of rod and reel for a little guy, I can say I definitely do have some experience with that right now. And for us, like, we chose to try to get Wyatt as comfortable with spinning tackle as early in the game as we could. We for sure started out as every kid could and should with the Spider-Man, Snoopy, push button, whatever it might be. And both the boys still play with those in the house all the time, like they're toys. But we tried as quickly as we could to get him comfortable at turning the handle with spinning tackle, just knowing that that's going to maybe help a little bit down the line when it comes to being comfortable, efficient, as he becomes a little more familiar with it. But we tried to keep the rod length relatively short. Basically just took a couple of the rod builders are such good buds and so excited when we had kids that they wanted to make something up for Wyatt. So he's just got a little, it's probably a 5.5 or maybe a 6 foot spinning rod that has relatively short grips to it. And you could modify any rod off the rack, but the rear grip is just a little shorter than what yours and I's rod would be. So it fits his hands a little bit better. And then we just picked an inexpensive Shimano spinning reel, something like a Sedona that is nice enough that it's still certainly going to work for catching a halibut and he'll be able to grow into it, but also not so nice that if it gets dunked or if it gets drugged through the dirt or if it gets pulled through the grass, which it has happened a bunch of times already, it's not so expensive that we're worried about it too much or anything. So anyways, I think something like that is, as soon as they're comfortable with holding a fishing rod and turning the handle, try to maybe make the switch from push button to spinning, just to allow them to start to develop that a little bit more. I don't know if that's the right call or not, but that's the move we made with Wyatt, and so far so good. And he's becoming pretty proficient using his spinning gear. So anyways, I hope that helps some. Hey, we don't want to let time sneak away from us. We got the man, Dave Dolan is on the line right now. And Dave was the host of our Let's Talk Hookup trip on board the Liberty. Dave, good morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. Enjoying the show there. Yes, we did that Liberty trip this week. So first off, we had excellent conditions out there. Just the water was flat, barely any wind. It was shorts and T-shirt weather the whole time out there. Well, the trip started out, we got out there in the evening, and we got the job done on the first night. We limited out the boat on bluefin tuna.
Nice.
Yeah, there was only a handful of the bigger quality fish, the 80 to 100 pounders, but it was just a steady bite on the 15 to 20 pound fish. Almost everything was caught on your smaller profile, heavy jigs. And, well, it was just wide open crazy out there when it was on. But I do want to emphasize it was all night fishing, pretty much like 10 till 4 in the morning. But we got the job done on the bluefin. Spent the next day, we went out to some spots. We caught a lot of the quality reds. That came up pretty good. And then we got a handful of lingcod, and so we got the full menu out there. Got a few yellowtail in the mix there too.
Nice.
And as far as yeah, tell me it was October out there too. It was just such nice conditions. Can't say enough about the boat, the Liberty. I've done this trip for several years, and I always know what to expect as far as the standard, the cleanliness of the boat, the crew, everything just worked out well. And to top it off, I had my fish done there at Fisherman's Processing. When we got back in the morning, fish went over there, and we were out of there at 9:30 with all our fish cut up and back in field.
Good for you, dude. What a cool deal. Well, it certainly sounds like a great one. I know that it was good weather, and I had a bud tell me how great the trip was, and he was one of the lucky guys, got one of those real big ones, got a 100-pounder, and it just sounds like it was everything that the Liberty always is. Great crew, good food, and excellent fishing. And, man, we're so stoked you guys had such a good trip, Dave.
We sure did.
Awesome. Well, a freezer full of tuna, and that's not a bad thing come late October, and still certainly opportunity to get out there. We're running into that thing that we do where we start to run out of fishermen before we run out of fish. And I think, Dave, you could echo the word. It's sure not over yet, is it?
That's right. Anybody, you put your stuff away, too early. I've always found that, this late September, October, it's always been my favorite time of year to get out there. Just enjoyed it so much.
Flat, calm, and good fishing and biting fish. Well, great job. Appreciate it. I know there was a lot of great giveaways on the trip. Gamakatsu sponsored, and there was some cool swag by all the different sponsors. So, again, a great job hosting for us, Dave. I'm glad you guys had such a fun one, and glad you experienced such good fishing.
Yeah, so I want to throw in too, the grand prize on that trip was a pair of Costa sunglasses too.
Very lucky angler. Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, a great job. Thanks for hosting such a good one, and enjoy the sashimi while the rest of us are jealous that you guys got to go out on another great late season trip.
Yes, we had a great one there. Hats off to Taro and crew.
Yep, well said. Okay, buddy. Appreciate it very much, Dave. Thanks a lot for the phone call. Boy, some good fishing going on, and it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy to see the lack of reservations that start to happen this year. I mean, that's great fishing. And, like he said, all of their fishing was at night. That's different than how the nighttime fishing was at the beginning of the year. Like, all their fishing was at night because they got finished before the daytime even rolled around.
Right.
Yeah, it's some good fishing, good late season fish to be had right now, Lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, well, we're about ready to come off the fan right now at the 8 o'clock hour. This is Let's Talk Hookup, and we're going to be on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube and Facebook Live. And thank you to 97.3 The Fan. This is Southern California's fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup.
Enter into fall. Powerful deals on new Yamaha outboards during Yamaha's Fall into Savings sales event. From now until December 8th, 2025, purchase a new eligible Yamaha 30 to 450 horsepower outboard and get up to 7 years of coverage protection plus up to $500 in dealer credit for 150 to 450 horsepower outboards. Looking for lower horsepower? Yamaha's got you covered. Purchase a new eligible Yamaha 2.5 to 25 horsepower outboard and receive up to $700 in dealer credit. Visit your local Yamaha dealer today. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Offer ends December 8th, 2025. Subject to change. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Select models exclude 24 or 36-month Yamaha extended service contract added to factory limited warranty. Choice offer to Florida residents is a 24 or 36-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. Cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
Hey, this is Captain Benny Florentino, owner-operator of Coastal Charters. Just want to announce that I'll be running the Camus 26 hybrid boat from West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. Hybrid being a center console with bay boat features. The boat features a Michael Peters stepped hull that'll give both myself and my guests a comfortable, dry ride. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa will be carrying the 26 hybrid, 28 hybrid, and also a 34 cat. Heck, they even have some great looking bass boats. But if you have any other questions, feel free to call Nick Kelly or Kyle Mesa at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa, and we'll see you on the water.
Take it from Captain Benny Florentino. West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa is your source for Camus boats as well as Parker boats, Yamaha outboards, and now Mercury outboards. Sales and service, the finest you can find. Go see Nick and the guys at West Coast Marine on Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa or check westcoastmarine.com.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. Need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
Ready for the largest event in our history. Saturday, November 1st, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. We'll have great savings from Daiwa on Saltist, Saltiga, and the entire electric reel lineup. A fantastic offer on the Proteus rods and SK jigs, too. Over 20 manufacturers reps, including Daiwa, plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, huge raffle, and most of all, incredible deals on tackle. Up to 60% off. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 1st.
Power your boat with Norsk Lithium, the ultimate choice for marine adventures. Our batteries deliver unmatched starting, trolling, and electronics power, packed with cutting-edge technology like Deep Sleep to eliminate phantom draw. Built with rugged BCI-compliant cases, they're designed to handle the toughest conditions on the water. Stay in control with the Norsk Guardian app. Monitor performance, track battery health, and unlock advanced features right from your phone. Charge with confidence using Evotech onboard and DC-to-DC chargers for fast, efficient, and hassle-free power management. Designed for maximum compatibility, these chargers keep your entire system running at peak performance, so you're always ready for the next trip. With a 10 plus 2 year non-prorated warranty, you can trust your batteries to perform for years to come. Our industry-leading warranty ensures you get the most out of your investment. With dedicated customer support if you ever need it. Upgrade your marine power today. Set up your custom system at NorskLithium.com or visit Trolling Motor Doctor in Lakewood. Norsk Lithium. No matter where the adventure takes you, we've got you powered.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, it's Chris Sello. You want a difference of opinion? We'll have that for you. Join Tony Gwynn Jr. and myself weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 The Fan.
An Odyssey Sports Station.
This program is sponsored and produced by Mosley Wealth.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup here. We're having a little issue with the Let's Talk Hookup open little intro music firing, but having a great time here. Talking fishing with Wayne. It's been a fun show this morning. If you missed us our first hour on the Let's Talk Hookup on the Fan, we're still coming to you. Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live. Got another full hour coming your way, and boy, lots of great info. And this has just been a very fun one. It's a fun time of year watching things develop. We kind of been talking about the show. Great local fishing still to be had as the interest starts to fade. It's still really, really good fishing, as we heard from Dave Dolan on our Great Liberty trip, and boy, some great reports coming on. And we're just looking forward to another fun hour, Wayne, hanging out, talking fishing, and giving away a killer prize.
Absolutely. Boy, if you missed it earlier, we've got this CalStar GG 278C, courtesy of CalStar. It is a one-off right now because right now, not even the stores have this rod. And it is beautiful. One lucky caller or texter will win it. Make sure if you text in to leave your name and your phone number so that we can get a hold of you. Now that we're off the Fan, there's no more callers for the second hour. But it is such a beautiful rod. And one lucky caller or texter at the end of the show will flip the coin and they will win this rod.
Yeah, and always want to say too, there was every person who gets on hold to make a phone call is eligible for the rod. So obviously it was a very busy morning. We had a lot of people standing by, excited to get to call in this morning. It was just busy getting to talk to Pete and talk to Dave. So if just because you didn't make it on the air, you are still absolutely in the running for that beautiful CalStar rod. So everybody that called, made it on hold, is going to be eligible to win that great prize. And in the meantime, we've got a lot of great texts coming through. But before we get to that, we're going to find out what's going on with our fishdope.com report. We got the man, Captain Mark Wish, is standing by with our fishdope.com report, Wayne.
And it's sponsored by Gamakatsu. If you like to fish for tuna and you are not using Gamakatsu hooks, you're missing bites. Their 720 heavy-duty assist hooks are one for your nighttime jigging. For bait fishing, nothing beats the Nautilus Circle hook. They come in all sizes, small and up to from a 4 all the way to a 6/0. And if you like big fish, Nautilus HD is tough enough, but not oversized. See your local dealer or check gamakatsu.com.
There it is. We got the man. Captain Mark Wish is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Well, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Wayne. What a great show. You guys are just having way too much fun.
You're not lying, buddy. We're having a good time.
I love it. And it's good to be back. I missed the last couple. On the first one, we were all the way to the Mediterranean checking out that place. And then last week, I couldn't even talk about it. I had laryngitis. I had zero voice for a couple days. But
that was unfair. We were excited to hear about the big trip, but you did it. You found a good substitute, though, Mark.
Yeah, Danny filled in fantastically. He does a great job, and he does it under pressure. It's not his favorite thing to do, but good job, buddy. I appreciate you helping out there. So on the water, guys, definitely seeing some signs of our seasonal shift. It's just them days are rolling on and winter's coming, but still some pretty good stuff around. Nothing from Nick or SBI. Has been kind of breezy on the outside there. Over at Catalina, it's in pretty worthy shape for this time of year. Pretty fine fall fishing, actually. A critical component to that fall fishing is the squid situation, and squid situation's pretty darn healthy right now. There's quite a bit of bait over there. There's bait backside east and backside middle and up west. And as to the fishing, the west is the best. Been some really good bites on the deep structure spots there. Home guard yellows, the big boys. Tackle busters for sure. You make sure your gear's in good shape, guys, or else. And on spots from like the West End high spot down toward Pedestal Rock, that deeper structure like that. Or at Clemente, There is still some squid in the cove, not nearly what there's been, but enough to make bait. You know, we made some bait. We were over there the other day, and but God, there's a lot of fin bait in the cove, and it made it a little challenging. That stuff would show up and the squid would take off, but we managed to get it done. Got a couple scoops there, no problem. What we didn't do anything with was the yellows in the cove. We never even marked a single fish sitting on the bait grounds there. That's setup's changing, but the better area is up the back, up towards Lost Point. There's some bait up there, and yellows and sea bass on it, and it's been pretty good fishing there in the middle of the back. And as long as the weather's decent, you know, you can get on that. Offshore, still plenty of bluefin around. You know, the hot spot certainly has been out there on the Cortez, and there's a lot of fish hanging out there. And weather will be a little bit of an issue, it looks like, this weekend here, but, you know, it's getting to be that time of year. And closer to home, still some nice signal between the 371, 390 like that for a mix of bluefin and yellowfin and the occasional blue marlin thrown in for good measure. I mean, how about
how cool is that?
582? Oh my God! What the hell is that thing doing here?
How about a marlin bigger than any fish caught in the Bisbees that was in between Point Loma and the Coronado Islands?
That's just insane. And you know, I mean, it's probably not really a connection, but strangely enough, there was a wahoo caught at 160 miles or something here a couple weeks ago. You know, and same thing. What the hell is that guy doing here? So maybe we got some kind of weird little counter current down deep, bringing all kinds of exotics and stuff up here for us. But
we're not questioning it. Bring it.
Not questioning, that's for sure. So Ricky, buddy, I got to tell you, that was a fantastic discussion of the evolution of the 278 foot. I mean, how we had that conversation a few weeks ago casually, and a week later, Chris walks into my store here, you know, with those blanks, and I here, check this out. I go, dude, you got to be kidding me. We're just talking about it the other day, and now, I mean, I've got one of those blanks. I'm going to figure out what to do with it. I haven't even seen the finished rod yet. That one that you have there is the first finished rod that I've seen. But what an incredible timeline from a concept to a product in hand. Those guys are just amazing over there at CalStar.
It's such a, and I can say this with you, Mark, because you've been around since the beginning of it, and you've been, you know, nobody's been tighter aligned and in the tackle biz than yourself. It's like the good old days and then some, you know, like the CalStar has always been the best at taking really good insight from people and then turning it into the perfect fishing rod. And you said it best, like it was a conversation, and all of a sudden 2 weeks later, boom, there it is. There's the product in your hand. And it's just, it feels like CalStar's back in the best position it's been in a real long time. And, you know, Chris getting to be there and letting John do his thing, you know, and, you know, you talk about a guy, you know, in Chris, who's a very accomplished angler and knows all the good of CalStar, and just allowing it to go the way that it is with that input. It feels really good. And this rod is a perfect example of it. It is a perfect small bait rod. I love it.
Yeah, it's perfect. You know, we were at Clemente here at the first part of the week, and Dana's got some beautiful cured anchovies, like 4 to 6 inch anchovies, the kinds you love to stop on a boiling spot of yellowfin tuna with or whatever. But we're fishing those anchovies for the calico bass and bonita on the front side, and I was thinking, oh man, I wish that wasn't a blank sitting in my store. I got to figure out how to get that done.
Right?
Not like you don't have an arsenal sitting behind it.
Well, that's neither here nor there, but
well,
yeah.
Certainly some good fishing to be had. And, you know, I mean, it's the same thing. There's fish close, there's fish out to the west, there's some down below. So certainly not time to hang it up yet. Some very exciting stuff going on, and who knows, man, maybe we get another push. We get some good weather. Like, I'm excited to see what the next week continues to bring us.
Yeah. They're talking Santa Ana here for this upcoming week. And, you know, a lot of times that it turns around, blows offshore, conditions offshore way down nice and flat, calm, fighting fish. Water's still pretty warm. I was looking at the buoys this morning. They're almost all 66 to 67, 68 even. And that's not so bad for the end of October. So we'll take it, guys. And
we'll take
definitely time to go fishing.
We got squid at the receiver and nachos up in Long Beach. We got 4 to 6 sardines from Long Beach down to San Diego. It's not done. No. We could see another the fall white sea bass hit again.
Yeah. And one other quick thing to mention, you guys were talking about dropper loops early on with that first call
Yeah.
or text that you took. And Ricky, again, you nailed that answer for that guy. And, when I was running charters a lot of my, we're specialized in fishing at sea bass, and the guys would come with their pre-tied dropper loops, and I would go and I would test almost every one of them. And the guy that tied the, typical blood knot, the rockfish style knot, it just pull them apart. I said, look, you guys got to test your knots.
Yeah.
Test your knots, pull on. Well, I don't want to break it. Well, you want to break it now or when you're 30 pounders on there? Come on, dude.
Yeah, you do want to break that. You want to break it right now when it doesn't matter, not when it counts. Well,
yeah,
appreciate the kind
spiders the way.
Appreciate the kind words, buddy, and I love the collaboration and insight that you gave to Chris and the boys up at CalStar. It's a beautiful rod, and we're really proud to get to give it away to one lucky caller or texter. And I know you've put your thoughts into a couple of real gems up there with CalStar, including one of my most favorites, the XL, and then also in the XLH and the Graphiter line. So great job as an awesome Fish Dope report, Mark, and it sure is good to have you back, buddy.
I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Go fishing, guys.
I like that. And, hey, want to remind you a great opportunity for fishdope.com. You can save $30 off of a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HOOKUPNOW. HOOKUPNOW, all lowercase, no space, saves you $30 off of a new one. And another report from one of our most favorites and a really, really good place to go fishing, and that's down at Cedros Island with Cedros Sport Fishing. Rosie's on the line. Good morning, Rosie.
Morning.
Good morning. Two of my favorite guys. Boy, how are you guys doing? Great show this morning.
We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know what? Just listening to the two of you talk about fishing is like it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing. So okay. So our fish report this morning, I was a little bit worried that we were going to have some wind this week, and even though we did get a little bit towards like it was probably like Wednesday and Thursday, but we had a group fly out on Wednesday, and then Reggie's group flew in on Wednesday, and they actually closed the harbor in the late afternoon on Wednesday, and I was a little bit worried about Thursday, but Thursday laid down pretty good. And you know how we got that big lee of the island and how the wind comes in, and it just blocked the wind from the fishing ground, so the guys were able to go out. They are saying that they're getting limits, but it's tough limits. So yeah, I know, tough limits by noon, but they're getting limits by noon.
That is always going to be my favorite Rosie, like negative. Like, oh yeah, it was another tough day. We had to wait all the way till noon to get our limits.
I know, and it's like, and even one of the guys texted me. He says, "Limits today, but tough. We got limits by noon." And it's like, and I thought, I'm going to say that to Ricky, and he's just going to start laughing.
I love it.
You know
That's
what
great.
I mean? So, but limits of yellowtail, that storm that we had, it pushed up that warm water, and the Dorado are starting to show up. So we were real happy with that. Our customers thrilled, obviously, to play with the Dorados. Everything they're catching right now seems to be on not only the surface iron, yo-yo, knife jigs, and Rapalas. All of those seem to be working. We're not seeing any white sea bass right now. They kind of have not wanted to come out and play. Black sea bass are playing with us, as are the halibut. Bonito, there's bonito everywhere down there, dear Lord. So if you put out a tuna feather, you're going to get a bonito, and there you have it. So, but I'll have to say that one of the captains, Captain Martin, kept that bonito, or the couple of bonitos, they said. And the next day he brought out bonito poke. Thank you. And the guy said they would have, you're thinking tuna, yellowfin or bluefin for that, but they said the bonito poke was absolutely fabulous. So there we go. So this is our last trip of the season. We got two more days of fishing left, and then we are looking forward to not only the shows, but filling up the trips for next year. And the way I do that is I keep a book from year to year, and I start it off basically at whoever is the first one to call it says, hey, I want in on 2026. And I start filling up the trips that way. So, and I'm going through that book, and most of the trips are online. There's still probably about 20 trips that are not online. We will have 66 trips next year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? 66 trips spread between 2 lodges.
Wow.
And Wayne, I think you're on the one in the end of July, August. So Wayne will be on one of those too.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know what? It's been an amazing fishing season. This year we have dubbed it the Year of the White Sea Bass because they were unbelievable from the beginning of the season to, probably the end of August, beginning of September. So we're really excited to see what next year has to hold for us. So if you are thinking about coming to Cedros, first thing I would do is look at our website at cedrosportfishing.com and talk to your friends. See what trip works best for you, not only as far as the dates when you guys want to go, but if you want it to be a 5-day trip or a 6-day trip, and then give me a call because, like I said, right now you can't see all the trips on the website, and but we're working on getting all those up and fitting people in. And then give me a call. Phone number here for me is 619-772-7570.
Awesome. Rosie, a great report. I was so surprised, and I know that it's just, like you said, it's just everything kind of happened late in terms of the Dorado and the opportunity, but the Wahoo fishing for our long-range fleet just got so good, and it was just a little later than normal. I was so curious to hear if anybody had made the trip over to Bonitos and had a trolling lure in the water, but it just seems like the push on that fish was just a little bit later than normal this year. And man, I feel like if there were another couple of trips, we'd see those classic Cedros Wahoo bites go on. But I think we're just going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait for next season.
Yep, I agree. We were really hoping that, like you said, that push would have come a little bit sooner and that the wind on the Pacific side would have laid down a little bit more.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, there
All
you go.
good. Well, we're just going to have to settle for limits by noon and great calico bass fishing. What are you going to do? Another crummy day at Cedros.
Oh darn!
Exactly. Ain't it great? I love it.
Well, we love it.
So
Great
good.
report as always, Rosie. Sure appreciate you taking such good care of us. And will we get to talk to you next week? Get the wrap up from this last trip going down.
You got it. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Great job, Rosie. Really
You got
appreciate you very much, and thanks for everything you do and keeping us in touch with what's going on with the crew down there. Appreciate the report very much. Well, hey, it's been a very busy morning. Lots of great texts coming through. Did you have a text standing by you wanted to read, Wayne?
Yeah, we got John from Mira Mesa. He was listening about the Japan report, and he actually had a coworker that was over there the same 2 weeks I was there, and he's asking, "Hey, did you get a chance to get the sea urchin and the uni?" And I'm like, "Yes." You're gonna believe this? They would have a skewer of Wagyu beef that they would put on the coals, and then they would put uni on top of that.
Oh,
and it was plump and sweet and so good. So that right there. And then you go to the sushi bar and they'd make up their, the sushi with it. And it was just phenomenal.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Very big, plump.
We were talking about great sushi, and you were talking about that you get it, that the difference between the treat. Now I'm sure the best in the world certainly does and still exists over in Japan. But you were talking before we started, when you and I were BSing about your great trip over there, that the difference in margin has narrowed so much with just how well sushi has been accepted and perfected over here in the States, and access to fish all over. That you were saying that the margin of fantastic sushi from here to there is no longer as great as it used to be.
I absolutely believe that. We tried fish throughout the country. Every place we went to, we tried it. They have fish there that we don't have here.
Sure.
So and it's fresh.
I want to be clear. I'm not trying to say that it's not the best over there. I'm sure that it is.
But the selection that we have here, the quality that we have here, because we have access to yellowtail and the tunas and the bonita and salmon, which you don't see salmon very much over there because they don't have access to it like we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't transport well. But theirs is just different, right? And I heard that if I could get up to Hokkaido, up in the northern part of Japan, it'd be different because that's the big main fishing ports up there, and the bigger fish are up there. But as we were in Tokyo South, it was just different. It was good, but it wasn't like, wow, it's 10 times better than we have in the States.
Sure.
Not.
Yeah.
The quality here is so good now.
Well, speaking of quality sushi, there's one thing I'm very excited about. We've been talking a little bit about Tackle Day here coming up. one of the new features we are going to have at Tackle Day is a great friend of the landing who has a very unique business, and his name is Michael Friedrich, and he's with his company is called Sashimi Rollin SD, and so Michael does, he's a charter master on a lot of trips, several trips on the Shogun. So if you kind of follow along with Long Range, they will go and make these beautiful spreads of fish on the Long Range trip. So, he hosts several trips on board the Shogun, also on the Independence, I believe also on a couple of the other boats as well. So you go on one of their trips, and in addition, he'll jump behind the counter with the chefs on the boat and create these amazing sushi spreads. And beautiful rolls and like very artistic, like lots of things going on. Anyways, one of his main gigs is they do sushi parties built around your fish processing. So you get off the trip, you had a great trip. Say some guy that happened to be going on the Royal Polaris on a trip in December. And Wayne gets off of the boat and you send your fish to Fisherman's Processing. You have this amazing fish. You can then hire these guys. They will come to your house with a full team, and then they'll provide all the other accoutrements but makes an unbelievable sushi spread with your fish that you then get to share with all your friends and family. Like you basically, you have your long range fish, then they provide all the other stuff, whether it be yellowtail that you didn't catch or salmon or those kinds of things. And then all of the other things that go along with it. And you tell them, hey, I want to have 20 people over at the house, and then they'll build a private party. So the guy makes unbelievable spreads, a really cool follow on Instagram if you haven't seen, like really artistic flowers and all the cool stuff that they do. But he's going to be at Tackle Day kind of showing the things that they do, producing maybe some free samples, maybe some poke nachos, and the guy's like a very high level. The Padres organization sought him out, and so like once or twice during every Padres homestand, that guy, he'll go down with his team and produce a huge sushi spread that the boys eat after the baseball games. That's awesome. The Padres players requested him to be the guy, and that's just going to be one of the really cool features. So in addition to come down and getting in on the taqueria taco truck that we have and having all the fun with the seminars and the contest, you'll get to see some amazing and sample some killer sushi from Sashimi Rollin and Michael Friedrich. Going to be one of the really fun highlights many highlights at Tackle Day.
Yeah, I'm listening to what you guys are going to do. And hey, we got Doug Kern on the show tomorrow, and you're going to talk everything Tackle Days.
Yeah,
but we're all salivating because it's already next week.
I know, it's crazy.
It's hard to believe. We're already at the end of October.
The boys have been working their butts off, kind of getting everything ready, and we've done some really special and some different things for this year, and we think that will be the best one. One of the things that we talk about all the time is Tackle Day is our event, and we try to make the biggest splash that we can. We love going to PCS. We love doing Day at the Docks. We're super excited about the PCS Del Mar show this year. So we're going to pull out every stop we can, but Tackle Day is our event, and it's very important for us to make it special. So we did some things that were probably not the best business decisions, but it's important for us for Tackle Day to be a big one. And the one that I'm maybe the most excited about are the big 2-speed reels. So we have two very popular reels. The Shimano Talica 20, when the 20As, the new version, came out, the smart move would have been to sell off all of our old generation, probably gain top dollar through the season when they were still, everybody still wanted them and were buying heavy. And we would have whittled them away and got more money out of them. What we chose to do was save all of them. So as soon as the new ones came out, we took all of our first gen TAC 20s and we put them in a box to wait for Tackle Day. I'm not allowed to tell you the price that we will sell them at Tackle Day. I can sneak around that by telling you that they will be under $500.
Wow.
Yeah. So a new TAC 20 is going to run you around $7,000. Right. And the first gen TAC 20 that we all know and love and killer and all those things, all I can say is they will be below $500.
Plus line?
I can't say anything else about that. It is going to be the best deal on a premium 2-speed we have ever had.
Wow.
In addition to that, there's going to be a deal on a Penn Fathom that is an even larger 2-speed. The largest. I'm trying to see how I can say this without getting Doug into so much trouble. All I can say is there is going to be a deal on a large, very popular Penn Fathom 2-speed that will be under $200.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so some really, really special deals at Tackle Day this year. We've saved everything that we could have sold throughout the year, and we wanted to save it and make this the biggest one. And like you said, Doug is going to fill us all in on it tomorrow. There'll be a whole lot to talk about, but there's going to be some very, very special ones. We try to make it not just a parking lot sale. You know, parking lot sale is always a good deal. There's always fun, and there's always deals to be had. We want this to be an event. You know, there's casting contest that Shimano puts on that's free. There's the Iserline knot tying contest that's free. We're going to have the boys from Fast Lane Sailing are going to be there with a full display. You're going to get to demo kayaks in the water. There's going to be over 20 vendors in the parking lot, you know, all the big manufacturers, seminars from Frank and the boys from Two Fish Jigs, and Bill Varney's going to be doing that great surf fishing seminar, and we'll have Steve Carson doing a seminar, a huge raffle. You know, our raffle, all the money we raise benefits Friends of Rolla. We cut a big check to after selling all the raffle tickets, and I gotta say a couple of huge thank yous. We've had amazing support from the people in our industry, but I gotta give a huge one to Lori and the whole team, Brian and Ray from the American Angler. They gave I called Lori and asked if we could get some hats and shirts to give away from our raffle, and instead of hats and shirts, Lori gave an all expenses 2-day trip on board the American Angler. And if that 2-day doesn't fit your time schedule, you can apply the value towards any longer trip on board the American Angler. This is like a $900 value that somebody's going to get for buying a $1 raffle ticket.
Wow.
And the money's going to Friends of Rollo.
Yeah. And Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea will have to pick a box, and they'll be selling Rod a Week tickets. And
that's just how that American Angler family works. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, do you think there's any way we could get some hats or a shirt?
Right.
And she's like, well, how about we do something better than that? And yeah, so an amazing prize, and thanks to the team for the American Angler for that. And in addition to that, great stuff. We heard a spot in the last break for Baker Marine. Baker gave us a pair of their custom built 7x50 marine binoculars. Those are going to be given away. Just so much killer stuff. Amazing support from all of the people out there. Way too many to mention. Everingham Brothers Bait Scoop certificates, and all of the restaurants, Point Loma Seafoods. Everybody's been just so awesome, and we got a great raffle, and all that money's going to the kids at Friends of Rollo, and it's just going to be an awesome event, and I can't wait. I'm really excited.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll be down there buying my raffle tickets.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
Some tackle.
Yeah, Dallas and and several of her nurses and my sister are going to be the ones selling the raffle tickets. So I think this year I got way too heavy of a conflict of interest. I think I'd get in some serious trouble, but I'm gonna have to find a rat hole to buy some tickets for me, because there's too many good prizes not to.
Proxy.
Yeah, well, let's jump back into the text. So we got some really good ones standing by. This one is hello guys. I'm hoping you could give me a rundown on bluefin fishing at night. I'm really excited. I've got a brand new CalStar, and I'm in the market for purchasing a good heavy nighttime deep jigging reel. I'm kind of thinking Talica 2025, maybe the new 40. Can you go over the big differences between the three? That's from Brad in San Diego. And all really good choices, Wayne. And none of those would be wrong. You know, I tend to go TAC 20. For me, that is the very comfortable reel that still fits in my hands, that I think holds plenty of line. Fill it with some 100-pound Max Quattro, the new Max Quattro offshore. Depth Hunter offshore, where it changes color every 100 feet. You get plenty of line on that reel, and in my opinion, will handle virtually everything that we hook. Now, if you hook one of those super giants, you hook a 300-pounder on a knife jig, are you outgunned? Yes. But do you have enough reel that's still going to handle it? Also, yes. You know, if you had your way, of course you'd want to hook that fish on a 50-sized reel or something, but you don't have the luxury of knowing what's going to happen, and the outfit still has to be comfortable for you to fish with.
Absolutely.
The other reel you mentioned was the 25, which those two reels are the same in terms of their capabilities, drag pressure. The guts are the same in the 20 and the 25. The 25 is wider, more line capacity, always a good thing when you're fighting big fish. I would never say that the 25 is the wrong reel. I tend to lend more to the 20 because that Max Quattro 100-pound, we can still put a lot of line on the reel. So I like the 20 over the 25, but that really is going to come down to a matter of personal preference. Put those two reels in your hand, see what you like better. The new 25 comes with that awesome power handle, a T-bar style. The new 20 is the knob that you're used to, but it's a larger version. And then both of those are retrofittable to either reel. So if you like the knob style and you want the 25, you can swap that handle over. Or if you have a first gen Talica 20 or 25 and you really like that new handle, that handle will still fit on the previous generation reel too. So you got a lot of options. The new 40 is an awesome reel. For me, it's a little on the big side for jigging. It's just going to be heavy. Once you get attached, you would be so stoked that that's the reel that you chose. But holding that and fishing it all night, I'm thinking that's maybe a little on the big side.
I agree. Yeah.
That's my thought anyway.
It's always that trade-off, right? But right now, between the 20 and the 25, that 20 is so nice because it's a little bit narrow. It doesn't wobble going back and forth for the level line, when you're trying to put the line back on the reel. The capacity, you don't have a problem with capacity on these reels. Bluefin are fight different than yellowfin. If I was going down south on a multi-day trip, you want the bigger reel because they take these massive runs.
Couldn't agree more.
Got to stop them.
Yep.
But here, when we're fishing, not usually. You get a couple of spurts, but I have yet to see somebody dump a reel on these fish.
Bluefin fight incredibly hard, and I think they fight the hardest when they're close to the boat. When they're at color, just outside of color, last few circles, shaking their head, changing direction, like that's where they're the worst. All of this is not to say that it couldn't, wouldn't, doesn't, does, all those things, but yellowfin, you hook that fish and it's just going forever. Bluefins, you can get away with less line. So I like that. I like that TAC 20.
I
think
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a fun one for sure. Well, there's lots to come, lots of great texts rolling through, and we got a whole lot more fun coming our way, huh, Wayne?
Absolutely. And we'll be taking more texters when we come back on Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Well, while we're trying to get our spots to fire here, a little issue with the commercial spots going. I think we're going to continue on, and maybe why don't we read another text, Wayne, before?
Yeah, as we were talking about
the
the tackle days coming up, there's one that kind of lines up with it. Somebody that brand new, Danny from Temecula.
This is Rosie with Cedro Sport Fishing. We have always been the leader with all-inclusive fishing trips.
All right,
to
well,
Cedros
why don't we
Island.
go ahead and run that break, and we'll be right back before Let's Talk Hookup in just a second.
With relaxing ocean views and gorgeous morning sunrises. With direct flights departing to the CBX in San Diego, we are committed to providing first-class service to our guests and an unforgettable fishing experience. Come check out the yellowtail and calico bass capital in the world. Nobody does it better than Cedro Sport Fishing. Call me at 619-772-7570 or check us out at cedrosportfishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
All right, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano. Boy, we've been talking about some great gear from Shimano with those great tackle day sales, and man, so much great stuff with this big bluefin coming up. You hate to be the broken record, but how could you not talk about Talica? The amazing reel, so much power, so much great free spool, fits in your hand, and all retrofittable. And I love that they did that with the new TAC 20, being able to put that new larger knob style handle or the T-bar power handle, both being able to fit on either of the two reels. So if you want to retrofit your previous generation, which still works awesome with the new style, you can certainly do so. And boy, there's not going to be a better time to buy one than at Tackle Days with that great offer and free Spectra coming along with your reel.
And you can try them at the counter. That's just it. If you put it on a rod right there and put it and try it, see how it fits your hand.
Nothing better. Check it out at your local Shimano dealer.
Fillet knives shouldn't be disposable. Introducing AFTCO fillet knives that are built to last. Designed in collaboration with Boker, Germany, AFTCO knives feature 4116 German stainless steel, bonded with titanium nitride to ensure optimum corrosion resistance and exceptional edge retention. A non-slip TPR handle maintains a firm grip when processing game fish. Fillet knives from AFTCO. Any fish, any water.
Everyone has their go-to fishing spot. My spot is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. Rock Cod Rick here to say if you're looking for the ultimate Alaska experience and the best value in Alaska, it's Kingfisher Charters. Owner Seth Bone and his crew consistently deliver deluxe accommodations, the finest food, world-class fish processing, and top-of-the-line fishing experience. We've literally sent hundreds of our listeners to Kingfisher, and they all can't wait to go back. Most Alaska resorts make big promises, and they don't deliver, or they'll nickel and dime you to drive up the cost, but not Kingfisher. Kingfisher, everything is included. Your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, your gear, literally all you need to bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. They also have the finest boats and charter captains in Sitka, all for the ultimate value. Take it from me, book your trip to Kingfisher Charters and you'll thank me. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. You gotta love a live show, huh, Ricky? Never a dull moment.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I can tell you another place that there's never a dull moment, and even it's probably gotten a little bit more dull now that the hurricane season, and particularly Hurricane Pedro, has passed. But that is our favorite spot down in the East Cape, and that's Smokey's Curing Company and Cantina in Baja. We got Chris Myers standing by this morning. What's up, Chris?
Morning, Chris.
Rick, Wayne, buenos dias, guys.
Buenos
How you
dias.
doing? Oh man, I tell you, sure sounds like a great party to come up to that taco day. I might have to come up and do that. That sounds like a great time, man.
We're really looking forward to it, buddy. We put a lot into it, and it's a big fiesta, and yeah, it's awesome. We've had the same guys. So there was a guy that used to work at one of the restaurants, right down the way from us a bunch of years ago. He left to go do his own thing, and his own little catering company, and we have just the most killer taco truck every year. They've been with us for, I think 12 years now, making up the killer agua frescas and killer little tacos, and then blend that with the sushi. It's going to be a really fun day, buddy. We'd love to have you.
Oh man, I'm going to try to make it, let me tell you. So yeah, it sounds great, and good for that guy going off on his own and doing that. Sounds like an awesome time.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, to the report, we've kind of we kind of cooled off a little bit, which is a bummer for this time of year. Normally we're on all cylinders, but the thing is, we still had a pretty good tuna bite. It just fell off a little bit, but the guys are still catching them. And the cool thing about that is they're able to get some tuna close in on the Baja La Ribera right there, about 3-4 miles off at the bank there, La Ribera. Also close in off Puna Pescadero to the north. And then also, guys are still going out looking for the porpoise, and they've been encountering some tuna anywhere between 15, 20, 30, and even 40 miles. So, they're going out there looking for the porpoise and then seeing if they can get some tuna to bite. Nothing really, really big to report this past week, but still, they're still coming in with fillet. And so it's not, I don't want to, make it seem like it's not good fishing. It's just that it's not the wide open limits every angler that we were having the past, over the past month. But as far as the billfish bite, lots of blue marlin and some stripers, which is usually there's more stripers, but lots of blue marlin out there. And then the sailfish bite kind of fell off. that had been going off for most of the summer, but still some billfish to be had. Regarding Dorado, up a little bit. I think we saw maybe 20 to maybe probably 25 Dorado, which isn't great by any means, but we still saw yesterday we got like 3 30-pounders on the dock at Palmas, which was nice. So they're kind of seeing those on the shark buoys to the there's very shark buoys to the north off the Pescadero area. So heading out there to the buoys and trying to get some Dorado. Wahoo bite, we're hoping that picks up a little bit. I think we saw maybe 5-6 wahoo this past week at the dock at Palmas. So nothing major there, but again, it's all about really the blue marlin and the tuna bite, and that's what a lot of guys are going out doing today. And the weather's obviously the season's changed. I just got done with my beach walk out there, and it's definitely cooled off. And man, jumping in the water, it's about 85 degrees is perfect.
Gosh,
so
perfect.
Yeah. So we're doing good, and I think the thing I want to say about the tuna bite, we had some north winds pick up a little this past week, which is a little early to kind of look for that maybe mid-November, but we did see some kite boarders out this past week a little early, so I think that affected the bite a little bit. But hopefully
we can get those north winds to die down a little bit and come back later in November and get back on our tuna.
Awesome, man. Well, it's certainly great fishing right now. And like you said, slow is not the right word. Guys are still certainly coming back with plenty of it. And then, all the blues to go along with it. Certainly sounds like good fishing. And I know one thing, it's always good times down there. And, when the weather gets right, the fish gets right, there's very few places like the East Cape. And man, we love it. And it certainly sounds like a great report. And we'll look forward to hearing another great one next week, Chris.
Okay, now good luck, guys, on the tackle day, and hope to see you there.
How about as the fall continues, opportunities to go fishing on the big boat? I mean, I know Vaquera gets awfully booked up. She's very popular, but in my opinion, the nicest boat on the Cape. But as we roll into fall, are there still some opportunities to come fishing?
Yeah, here's the thing: we've got we've been booked up most of all of October. I think we have 3 days. I think we have the 28th, 29th, and 30th available. And then we got the tuna jackpot, the big tournament and the Western Outdoor News tournament in Cabo. We've got people fishing that fish every year with us. And then I don't know for sure, we're still talking about it. The Vaquera may be going to Mag Bay for the remainder of November and into December. And that fishing is like, we may be out there. So if there's an interest, they may want to get a hold of me, but we're thinking about taking Vaquera out to Mag Bay to finish off the season and have her out there for about 4 weeks. So
that
we'll
would be
see.
sick.
We're talking about it.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. You know how that can go. That's just crazy. I mean, I've heard of people out there, oh, we caught 30 wahoo. Oh, we caught, we hooked 27 marlin or so, just crazy stuff out there. So
are you thinking multiple days on the boat? Are you thinking taking advantage of one of the great lodges in San Carlos or right at Mag Bay there and doing day trips? What's your thoughts, or is it still in the early planning phase?
It's in the early planning stage. We've got somebody that wants to run charters out there.
Yeah.
On our behalf up there. So what we're obviously not staying on the boat, no, because there's lodges, there's nice places to stay there, and we can just anchor right there in the bay. But I think the concern is mainly like Diego and they're not going to be, they're going to be on the boat full time.
Sure.
The crew's going to be on the boat because you don't want to, have anything, go wrong out there on the boat.
Everything
security wise.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah. Security wise, but there's some nice, cool little places just right there to stay.
Absolutely.
I hope it happens, man. That sounds really cool, Chris.
Well, you remember, of course, Eddie Dalmau that ran, the reservations and everything.
Yeah, it's our family.
Everything at Palmas for 20-something years. Well, he's now with Baja Pirates in La Paz, and they're taking multiple groups. They're taking groups there for I think it's 6 weeks or something. Maybe I could be wrong. 4 to 6 weeks, November to December. They're taking multiple groups out there, which mainly are fishing the Tongas. But I mean, if you've got a 35 Cabo out there in the bay, it's like, well, let's go on that, So
wow.
we're talking about it, and I'll have more information on that too. It's a developing story, let's say.
Of course. Well, that sounds great, and it sounds like if somebody was dying, it would probably not be a bad idea for them to just get their info to you, for you to help gauge what kind of interest is there. And if we all get lucky enough that it does happen, I know you'll spread the word here on Let's Talk Hookup. But sounds fun, and again, I can't say enough good things about that boat. And Diego, I've been so fortunate to get to fish on it, and I love it. It's there is not a nicer boat in the East Cape, I can tell you that much.
Well, he treats it like his own, man. I'm telling you, he treats that boat. He babies that thing, and he's always out there. It's just, he keeps that thing in tip-top condition. And anytime there's we're meticulous about maintenance, changing the oil every 100 hours, just every little thing, maintaining the Seakeeper, whatever. We're always preventative. Preventative medicine is the best way to do it. And of course, you're going to have water pumps go out here and there, but we've got a supply of those so we can get them fixed the day of or whatever. But yeah, he's the best, man. I'll tell you.
Awesome.
He's a great captain.
Well, if somebody wants to ride that beautiful boat, if somebody wants to come to Smokies, if somebody wants to take advantage of the best fish processing down south, how do we find you, Chris?
Quickest way is call my cell at 858-231-1358. Email me at bobsmokedog2gs@gmail.com or get a hold of me at vaquerasportfishing.com. Any of those will work.
You're the best, buddy. Appreciate it very much. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that very much. That gets me fired up, dude. I want to go.
Oh, he takes that over to if he takes it over to Mag Bay.
Yeah, that's a
I want to
no-brainer.
jump on so bad.
Yeah, that'd be cool, especially to get to run a trip with Eddie, who's just, such part of the fam around here, all the great years at Palmas, and, they're doing an awesome thing up there in La Paz, and that sounds cool. That sounds really cool. You can feel like the wheels are turning, it's not there yet, but boy, I hope they pull that off. That sounds real good to me, man.
I agree.
I dig it. Well, hey, the techs are packed up. I had a fun one come up standing by, and he says, well, I just want to say, so I was on that last trip on the Shogun you talked about, the 10-day that the Renee was running. What you did not mention was the amazing Dorado that were also coming off the kelps. It was the best I've ever seen in terms of quality Dorado off of the kelp. Oh, yeah. We also had 100 Wahoo, and the biggest was 77.5 pounds.
100?
Yeah. That was to go off of the epic, 100-pound tuna fishing, 7 going at a time, all the great yellowtail fishing they had. They also had epic Dorado kelp fishing and threw 100 Wahoo on board as well.
I can't even imagine 100 Wahoo going. Think about those lines just going up and down the rail.
To land 100 Wahoo, you had to. That's the thing too. Like if they were able to tag 100 Wahoo on that trip, they hooked. They hooked 300 and they had bites from 500. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that's Wahoo fishing. Like just incredible. Yeah,
That's
there's such
incredible.
great fishing going on for the multi-day long range fleet. If you're on a trip that's 7 days or longer, you just got some great stuff coming your way. And if you've got the time and there's a spot here and above, go. I mean, absolutely go. It is so good right now. Call one of your favorite boats and see what's on, see what waiting list, make the rounds, get your butt down there. It is worth going right now.
This is the best of times right now. This is going to go down in the books. We keep saying it every week, but this is the best fishing we've had in forever.
It's crazy. And the local fishing, I mean, we darn near breezed over that this week. Amazing. Mark Henwood, Sean Mulroney, they, fishing local, fishing marlin, and tuna, left the Coronado Islands or west of the Coronado Islands, trolling home, hooked a big marlin. Turned out to be a really big marlin, pulled on it, caught it, landed it, brought it to the scales of the San Diego Marlin Club. There was a very unfortunate scenario where the scale collapsed and there was a non-life threatening, but an injury. And so there was a bummer mark to what should be celebrated as one of the most amazing catches in Southern California history. Those guys caught a 582-pound blue marlin, local. Local fishing, caught it, landed it. That fish made such a mistake in biting one of the most, experienced San Diego Marlin crews around. Those guys did a fantastic job.
I don't know how they got it in the boat.
Same. I mean, the whole story is incredible. And, not a lot of guys would have had the experience to, leader a fish of that size, boat handling and Mark and Sean and that whole crew, hats off. What an amazing catch. A 580-pound local blue marlin, bigger than any fish in the Bisbee, just
exactly
spectacular. Followed up just a couple of days later with a 567-pound solo swordfish for that angler, Jeff. And if you haven't, man, hop on the social media of the San Diego Marlin Club and see some of these amazing catches. I mean, back to back, almost 600-pound fish. It's incredible stuff going on right now. Good tuna fishing locally, amazing long range fishing. It is just, this is it. This is what we wait for. This is the fall that you wait all year for.
I laugh because I'm thinking about your boat with Neil and my boat, little 22 gutty walk around. We'd be doing the old man in the sea tied up to the side and trying to run that thing straight, but it would never get in the boat. There's no way.
Talk about Neil and the 25 Parker again. Neil had a 373-pound swordfish this week. I mean, it's just happening. Like it's really, really good fishing.
How can you not want to get on the water right now?
Yeah, it's pretty special, man. You say all that, and then you look at the reservations for the day and a half fleet, and there's next to nothing. You know what I mean? Like it is still the right time. We've got Santa Ana conditions coming up and good tuna fishing, and I really hope this thing kicks on for a few more weeks because it's too good to let it die.
And not to mention the lobster are crawling too.
Yeah, totally.
You could go day or night. You can get off work, do a twilight. I mean, there's so much going on still.
Yeah,
I don't know why people are putting their odds away and not getting on boats.
Fun times to be had still, no doubt. Well, I know you had a good text standing by, Wayne.
Yeah, there's one that Mike from Rosemead was talking about. We were just talking about your boat. This guy, he he got a 2000 model Parker and he's having trouble with his trim tabs. He was asking what you and Neil do for your maintenance on your trim tabs and where do you might take your boat?
Maintenance, we have used a lot of great companies over the year. West Coast Marine, we've had a lot of help from H&H Marine, when guys get busy. And so maintenance, other than having the diver, clean and service things, and keeping growth off of them, I wouldn't say that we've done much in the way of maintenance to our trim tabs. I will tell you, if you have a 2000s Parker, which we have also, if I was in the position of needing to do trim tabs, I would put some very, very serious thought into utilizing that new Seakeeper ride system that Blue Sea Stabilizers does. It is going to cost you more money than a set of new trim tabs is, but it will forever change the ride of your boat. And let's be real, if you're in a Parker pilot house, they have a tendency of having some slap, and it is going to eliminate that. If you're having to replace trim tab, it's not like that's a cheap thing anyway. So you're going to apply that towards the cost of your new system. And I'm not trying to pretend like it's nothing, but in a sub, I believe it's around, depending on how much glass work needs to be done on your boat or not, it's somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000, with I think it being around 6 or 7 is about what it costs. And Ollie would be able to tell you more, but I would put some very serious thought into that Seakeeper ride system. I know that when our trim tabs go, that will certainly be the next move for us. And it's just we're both in the same ballpark. Neil and I, we both have young families, and you got to make the money decision has to be right. But that's the next upgrade that we're really looking forward to putting on our boat. And anyways, so in terms of maintenance, we don't do a whole lot other than keeping them clean when the boat does come out of water, just visual inspection, that kind of stuff. But other than that, we've knock on wood, we've had very good luck with our trim tabs. We've had one ram go out, and when it did, it was just a replacement, and knock on wood, it was all taken care of after that. But appreciate the text very much. Had another great one that says, good morning, guys. I really love this open format shows that you do. My question is, if you were moving to Baja forever, what is your choice of destination? I know you both have traveled Baja a lot. Are you, what would work for the beach, intercoastal, outer waters, wanting to do a little bit of everything? Where's the spot to go? And that's from Curtin Vista.
Boy, that is a tough question. We've had a few people that have moved down to Baja Sur, but I couldn't tell you where I'd move at this point.
Part of it too, Kurt, I think would matter a lot in what you are looking for in terms of, do you want to get off the grid and enjoy Baja sunrises and sunsets and epic fishing, and you would rather have that than have the close proximity to town and people and things like that, versus a spot like Los Barriles where you have a lot of the amenity. You're closer to medical and, closer to groceries and in town and a lot of expats and a lot of, and a lot of seasonal and still great fishing. Like, I think it probably depends a little bit on what you're after. We have some very good friends that have moved down to that East Cape area and absolutely love it, but also with that comes some Sunday traffic, and it comes extra people, and the beach isn't empty. There's still a few people on. There's nothing like at home, but there's that too. So I think it just depends a little bit on what you're after. Do you want to get completely away and off the grid, or do you still want some access to some people too? But boy, what a fun decision-making process that would be if your plan is retiring down there. And like you say, is it a full-time retirement, or is it a home that you're going to go down there and you're going to enjoy, half the year and keep your other place up here? But
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people that went to San Felipe. We have people La Paz, Cabo, obviously, Mag Bay. People are down there, but and then some went to the interior a little bit to the Culiacan, right?
Okay.
And so everybody's different. What do you want to put up with? How rural do you want to be? Suburban life, city life,
right?
Access. You're absolutely right.
If it's a vacation fun spot, Northern Baja is easy to access, so you're probably going to go more often. If it's the type of thing where you can leave early in the morning, you can be having lunch at your spot in the afternoon, well, that certainly makes it closer to you, but some of that better fishing is a little farther down and a little more issues. So does that keep you from going there? And if it's a full-time retirement, well, that adds to it too.
Absolutely.
But a lot of fun. Well, how about another text, Wayne?
Yeah, we got one from Simone up in Santa Clarita. She's asking about offset circle hooks. I'm looking for a size 4, maybe a size 2 offset, double X strong circle hook that with the bigger gap, and she wants the bigger gap to be able to put the bait on easier for bluefin fishing. Help me with the sardine to get it in there with the butt area. Which gap is bigger and grab tuna? What suggestion do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think a little bit, Simone, knowing that this is exactly what you're after and some more inside baseball, I think you almost a little bit need to eliminate the size from your mind. And here's the reason I say is not all number 2s are built the same. I'm a really big fan of that Gamakatsu Nautilus circle hook. It has nothing to do with show promotion, anything like that. That's the hook that I like to fish. Yes, the Gamakatsu is a sponsor of the show, and for 2 hours on the show, we talk about Gamakatsu. But, outside of that, I work in a tackle store that sells every brand of hook, and, I don't have any, and I have great personal relationships with all those guys. I've been buying hooks from all of those manufacturers for, it's getting close to 30 years now. So what I think you need to do is eliminate the size from your mind. Know that you're after a small hook, because let's call it exactly what it is. The Gamakatsu number 2 is much different in size than the Owner Mutu number 2.
Absolutely.
Mustad doesn't even make a number 2 circle, but their 1.0 is smaller than the number 2 from a different manufacturer. So I think what you really need to do is analyze the right hook size. So if you know that you have been fishing a Mutu number 2 and that's the right size for you, but you're wanting something that's a little smaller in terms of wire size, grab your Gamakatsus and start comparing, because a number 1 might be the larger hook size and it might give you the gap that you're after. So, a little bit hard to say. I think I would just go into a tackle store. You're certainly welcome to come down to Fisherman's. We'll do that for you. And I know a lot of other great tackle stores in whatever your area would do the same, and grab all of the hooks. Go in on a weekday in the afternoon when it's not crazy and grab all of those hooks from the different manufacturers and lay them on the counter. And then you can get a true gauge. And I want a hook that's approximately this size. Throw the numbering system out of it, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. And then, you can compare this guy's number 2, this guy's 1.0, and this guy's number 1, which are all about the same size. And then you can compare the gap between each one and see what's the right for the size that you're after.
Are you a fan of the offset versus straight?
I am. Yeah, I think it's easier to pin a bait on. I mean, there's sometimes when you have to have it, tournament fishing and IGFA rules, they, those things, some of them will require you a non-offset circle. But yeah, I like a little offset.
And the one thing to learn is there's a technique to holding the hook when you're trying to bait the fish, on how to get that hook in there easier. It's
a great point too. It's not always the easiest thing to pin on. And yeah, more practice, a little offset. It's a great point. Makes a big difference for sure.
Yeah. Hey, wow.
Dude.
2 hours goes quick. We're coming up on the top of the hour, and we're going to give away this CalStar rod, the GG 270B8C, to a lucky texter or caller when we come back. We're on.
I can't believe somebody's getting that new rod.
I don't want to give it away.
Yeah,
I want to just
cool,
put
man.
it on the side. We need to try it. We need to do some field research, Rick. Honestly, I can't wait. And when we come back, we're going to pick that caller or texter. We're on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and we'll be right back.
Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja, and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels, with the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities. Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service sport fishing operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day trips on the spacious and comfortable 85-foot Liberty. With bunks for your comfort, a huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Fisherman's Landing also boasts the best captains and crews in the business, from seasoned veterans to our young future legends. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Saturday, November 1st, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, and it's our largest sale ever. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts and over 20 reps from tackle manufacturers like Accurate, Aftco, CalStar, Gamakatsu, and Costa. Don't miss all the great seminars, the huge raffle to benefit Rollo's kids, the popular casting contest, and of course, the huge sale. For the best ever tackle bargains, check out Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 1st.
3 kayaks, 6 surfboards, 10 rods, and 1 truck bound for Baja. That's where my brother and I's most recent quest into the Baja Peninsula began, in search of waves, fish, and fun. We are able to transport all the kayaks, rods, and boards without straps due to the easy transportation of the Hobie iTrack inflatable kayaks. We brought a tandem and 2 singles, the I-9 and 11, and they were totally enough to get all 6 of the boys onto some of the best halibut and grouper fishing of their lives. Now, you might be thinking, 3 kayaks? I thought a tandem and 2 singles would only be able to fit 4 people. Well, a simple lawn chair on the back of the kayak was enough to turn the 2 single kayaks into tandems. Catching upwards of 100 fish a day in the mangroves, ranging from 15-pound grouper to tons of legal halibut, we had our fill and headed back to the States. Check out the full video of this trip on our YouTube channel, Fastlane SC, or come by our shop in Mission Bay and check out a Hobie inflatable kayak. See you soon.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, when we talk about the fastest 2 hours on radio, you are not kidding.
Wild, man. Yeah, it's crazy to go so fast. So, okay, it is time. We are going to find out who has got themselves a brand new CalStar GG 278-footer. Wayne, do us the honors. What we have today, we have a caller. Congratulations, John in Huntington Beach. You are going to love that new rod. It will be available for you to pick up at Fisherman's Landing Tackle. John, we're going to put your name on that thing, and you got yourself a brand new rod.
Pick it up quick.
First on the block, man. Congratulations. I'm not going to lie. There's going to be some drool and some fingerprints on that rod. We are going to be pulling on it and showing it off. It's a really special one, and congratulations. And Wayne, how fun this was, man. It blows me away that 2 hours rolls by as quick as it does, and boy, it goes fast. I had a great time. So stoked you had such an awesome trip to Japan. That was really fun getting to hear about the ins and outs of it, and man, it was just a great one, and we're going to look forward to having you back here real soon.
Yeah, it went quick, and man, I'm sure happy to be back, and man, the fishing's been great. I can't wait to get on the water. I'm jonesing right now. Yeah. All these great reports.
It's been fun, man.
Absolutely.
This is a really good time, and we enjoyed having you. Well, again, appreciate you out there listening. Another couple of great shows coming up. Hey, tomorrow we've got a very fun one. We got the man, the tackle guru himself, Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking all about tackle days. Really excited to have him here. And then next weekend, another couple of great shows. I will be live at Tackle Day. Pete will be in the studio. Bob Hoos, going to be a lot of fun. And Wayne, I know you're going to be joining him for that one too, while Corey and I are working our butts off down at the day. But hey, tomorrow, another great show. Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live. Big thanks to Kyle for keeping us on the air this morning on the fan, and a big thanks to Adam for keeping us rolling on the app. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on Let's Talk Hookup, 97.3 The Fan, Facebook and YouTube Live, and that Let's Talk Hookup app.